I'm putting Lamar Jackson back in college at Louisville because even though he had a great career winning a Heisman Trophy with the Cardinals, he never got them a national championship, and this is the only way that it would happen. I'm looking to have fun today, even if I'm playing on Heisman, and I'll be trying to complete these 6 challenges, which include breaking some records and unfortunately beating a rival. As a Kentucky fan, the only way I would play with Louisville is if I get to use Lamar, and that matchup won't come until the end of the season, but looking at some of our other ACC games, it's not going to be easy to win the conference. I'd also like to add that even if the game says we have a 90 overall defense, the highest overall player we have on our defense is an 87, and that's why Lamar Jackson back in college with some incredible stats is going to need to carry this team all the way to a national championship. Georgia State is what I'd like to consider a warm-up game for us, and the first challenge I'm going to try to complete in this video is having 7 passing touchdowns in a game. The previous record is 6 at Louisville, and it's actually Lamar Jackson's record. So with him back in college now, I want to see if he can be even better. There's going to be a lot of running with him, and he's already taking off. It looked like he just got a massive speed boost, but he can't go all the way, and that is very exciting to see. We want to have some big plays with him. Blocks are lining up, and even on Heisman, he can dominate. The difficulty is not going to stop the best quarterback in the country. And then he'd get a passing touchdown after that, but we're trying to go for another one with this drive. Using the playmaker, we should be able to get it right here, as we are going to be in. And I think you could have always expected this game to turn into a blowout right off of the rip just based off of who we were playing. One thing that's been a little bit concerning though is I thought we were going to put up more points than this. I mean, right here we're rushing for another touchdown, but we only have 28 points in the third quarter. The 7 touchdown game is not going to come against Georgia State. We're just throwing stuff up now. Bell is able to get to the 1, and a majority of his touchdowns in this matchup are trying to come on the ground. If you all saw how weak our offensive line was on paper though, you would be concerned for the rest of the year. And that's why on 3rd and goal, we are going to throw it, which is going to result in a draw. This should be the final drive that he's on the field in this game, so it's his last opportunity to get a touchdown. And we ended up winning this one 35-3. I'm happy with the performance, but we need 6,000 total yards this year, which is why I'm happy to say that not only did Lamar have 241 passing yards, but he also had 123 rushing yards. If we want to break Joe Burrow's record for the most total yards ever in a season, we're going to have to average 375 a game. And with our next opponent being James Madison, we have another good opportunity to put up a lot. I will admit, the start to our season is pretty simple, but it does get hard very fast. And you never know when one of these teams could give us issues. With the read option on 3rd down, we're going to spin but not get the first. And I thought we were about to put a highlight on the Duke's defense, getting a touchdown out of that play, but we can do that right here. We might even go for the hurdle. Lamar could have taken a shot there, but we're willing to take that risk. And then our defense gave up a touchdown to James Madison, who is also about to stop us, except we've gotten the first. I do not like all these 3rd downs though. We're going with a halfback screen, seeing if Brown is able to get us enough. He does, and he's also going to get even more. But the wear and tear damage is picking up extremely fast for some of the other players on this roster, which is why we're scrambling. We should be able to end this drive with a touchdown pass. I'm going to roll out. I'm going to see where they bite down. I guess we're running in. And I was hoping we'd run up the score a little bit more in this first half than we have, but we're still doing all right. The main problem is some of the receivers that are out there on the field just aren't that good. So that's something important to keep in mind whenever we face off against better defenses. But in this situation, I think Chris Bell can get us a tutty. After that moment, we all knew that this game was over, but even in the 4th quarter, Lamar has stayed out there on the field. And he's looking for his 6th touchdown of the day, which we actually have if this throw can get above the defender. That's not going to be the last time in this matchup that we find the end zone, though. We've had more success as time winds down. There's another. And our offense looks so much better in this one than they did last week. Lamar Jackson also had 8 total touchdowns, but that's not going to set a school record for us because 4 of them came on the ground, and in order for it to be a school record, we're going to have 7 passing touchdowns. He's enjoying his time back in college, though, that's for sure. I'm just not understanding how we dropped down in the Heisman race with that performance while we're losing it to Ty Simpson. Fortunately for us, there's still a long season ahead of us. Utah's ranked inside the top 10, but if it's anything like real life, that's not going to last. We're at number 13. And during our bye week, we moved up a couple more spots before facing Bowling Green. I think it's safe to say that next season, the Cardinals are going to have a super simple start to the year. But I do not like that we find ourselves down by 3 points with 7 minutes gone in this game already. That was a great ankle breaker move. We almost did it again. But I can't even trust this team to sim for a little bit of a game because we are not playing that well This throw with the dude in his face is going straight into Hugh's hands. And we'll see if Lamar can continue to come alive to start the second quarter. Finding Golden is a great option. He's going to be transferring in from Akron for them. We're going to see if he can make this play on third down, which he does. And this might be the game to go for the 7 passing touchdowns, especially if we already have 2. My life would definitely be a lot easier if we had some fast receivers that I could throw it up to. But even if we're not outrunning some of these corners, we're still going for a deep shot because I think Chris Bell just beat the press. I thought after doing that, they would not give us that look twice, but they did. So to end this first half, we're finding Chris Bell for a second time. And since we already have 4 passing touchdowns, this truly is our best opportunity at setting the school record with 7 passing touchdowns against Bowling Green. We've passed for more yards than any other game so far. I don't understand what their obsession is with pressing Chris Bell, but Lamar Jackson's not perfect. He just missed the easiest touchdown of his life, and we're about to take a sack, except he broke the tackle, and instead we get the first down. We still have a minute left in this second quarter to get his 5th passing touchdown. We're not going to run it in, of course. But if that's what it takes to get us down the field, it's not the end of the world, and I hope they don't make a play on that ball. We just caught it. Off of the deflection and everything, we are getting extremely lucky. And it's not even a question. This is the best game Chris Bell has had for us so far. What's fun about him is he has this 50-50 ball ability that I really want to try out. I want to see him moss a kid like right here. It just would have been easier to make that catch and go for the touchdown instead. This is going to be passing touchdown number 6. With the way that they've been coming out on defense, though, I don't think we're going to have any problems getting that. I mean, we dusted them. And I know we're playing with one of the best quarterbacks we could ever use, but Heisman difficulty's doing nothing to us. We will see if that changes whenever we play tougher opponents. We have set a school record, won our first challenge, and this is going to be by far the most total yards we've had in a game. It is almost at 600. It only took Lamar Jackson 3 games back in college to break one of his old collegiate records at Louisville, and I'm sure by the end of this video, he's going to have a lot more than just this. It was about time that we started facing some real competition, though. It's our first ACC game against Virginia, and then we go on the road for 4 straight weeks where #1 SMU is on the schedule too. And I just can't help but point out that the ACC has so many teams ranked on this file, which is extremely rare for the conference. They never do this well in sim, and SMU's not even using Kevin Jennings. They have Preston Stone, who they forced out of their starting, which makes no sense. Kevin Jennings was the right choice, but let's just get into this game against Virginia. Now that we've taken care of our single game record challenge, all I really care about is putting up a lot of total yards. You're going to see that Virginia has a 7-point lead on us, though. I don't think we can escape this situation, and I'm afraid that they might be a lot better than what we've been playing. It is rare for us to have to watch anything from over on the sidelines, but we hit the field goal. And then they got one of their own, so I'm hoping Lamar Jackson can break off a big run here. The blocks are lining up. Surely number 9 is not fast enough to catch him, and that's going to lead to one of our biggest rushing touchdowns yet. It's almost effortless. Like, that felt way too easy. But now the challenge is going to be repeating stuff like that, and on third down, how on earth did we bounce off of those blocks? I also might look over in Hugh's direction, taking a deep shot. He just couldn't get past that safety. So we went over to our tight end that dropped the ball, and it's going to be third down where we aren't getting it out. The Cavaliers would also score a touchdown, which really puts pressure on us to end this first half correctly, because if we don't, we're going to be trailing to them, though I'm pretty sure Lamar can run this one in. I have yet to throw an interception with him. I really don't want to. That's dropped. And no wonder Lamar never won a championship in college. He didn't have any help. We're taking the sack. Now, most smart people would just kick a field goal here, get it within 4, but I know that we have somebody that can make a great play. Why does he feel slower? I mean, the stiff arm's good, but I thought he was going to be able to outrun all those players and at the very least move the chains. I feel like our first few games in this video were extremely misleading. It made it seem like this was going to be cake, and instead it's turned to us struggling against the Cavaliers, but I love these fade routes, and that is going to be the transfer receiver that's open. From here, I'm trusting our defense to get us some stops, and they were able to do that for us. We're also going to go back to the running play that scored us this first touchdown in the game. I don't know if we're going to be able to get all the way, but that was a solid pickup, and then using a quarterback power, we're going to spin it inside. I feel like if Lamar has the ball in his hands, it's almost a guaranteed few yards at the very least. And I haven't even pulled out the speed option much yet, which is basically a guaranteed first down. After all that running, though, they started sending a lot more players in Lamar's direction, so we're going to get our 50-50 ball to Chris Bell. And I'm pretty sure if we just immediately roll out, we were going to throw it, but they had everybody ready. They're probably not going to expect us to sit in the pocket then. Lamar can make a read in this situation. We just just have to hang on. And it's time to go back to running the football. Speed option is gonna get us into the end zone. It's safe to say that Isaac Brown is a great tailback to have in the backfield with us. We need to pick up this third down though in the fourth. And they're saying on the field that wasn't a catch, but I'm willing to throw the challenge flag and see if we got a foot down. I feel like we were able to secure that pass, but there wasn't a toe drag. So Virginia got it back. Our defense has them on a 4th and 5, and they're gonna complete the pass, also breaking a tackle. Fortunately from there, they got held to a field goal, but we have to pick up this 3rd and 9. And it's extremely stressful watching the end of this unfold. Virginia has the ball with 14 seconds left on our side of the field, and they're sending it deep where we have swatted it. But we have no control over if we win this game or not. They're gonna keep on sending up shots. They might have 2 of them left if this play ends quickly. I hope that we're able to just swat it down, and I never want to find ourselves in that position again where we can't rely on our offense and we have to trust our defense. It all worked out for us, but it was Lamar's worst game. And there's a reason that we still haven't been the front runner for the Heisman Trophy yet. On the bright side though, teams like SMU are losing, Florida State's gonna lose, so there's gonna be less teams that are ranked from the ACC. And that even includes Virginia Tech, but we can't overlook the Hokies. It's kind of crazy, but this is the first time that we're playing on the road this year. And Virginia just gave us a hard game, so I know that they're going to as well, especially since they're up 7-0. That's right, it took 3 minutes for our defense to give up the first touchdown. On 3rd down, we're going to get just enough. And I wish that this Alabama playbook had some more running plays in there with our quarterback, because this has been one of the only ones we've been able to use, but Lamar is doing it well. Every so often, he pulls something out like that. On 3rd and 5, though, we had to lean on Brown to get us the first. And assuming they try to stop Lamar Jackson with this speed option, we're pitching it to Isaac Brown, but he had nowhere to go. Not a great ending to this first drive, if you ask me, unless we thread the needle. It's our first pick of the year, and don't tell me this is when things start to go downhill. Lamar can be better than this. At least to start the second quarter, we're going to find ourselves in a very interesting spot, because we're on the 1-yard line on a 4th and goal, and this is where I'm just trusting Lamar. Our receivers have struggled to get open, so it's been a lot more running in this game than anything else. And I'm so dumb for going for the hurdle right there. We could have had a touchdown. Instead, though, I don't think we're getting around these players. Look at that spin. There is going to be no defending me if I cannot win a national championship with this player. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. Great little throw. And do we get greedy here and pull the read option even if it was not there? I'm trying my hardest to get Bobby Golden on a zig route. It took like 5 attempts with the home field advantage, but we had him there. And I think we're going to have to settle for a field goal unless our tight end can make this catch. The worst part about how that drive ended was we missed the field goal as well. And I feel like I have seen enough from this offense. We are really struggling to move against Virginia Tech. We're not catching that. One thing we have not resorted to yet though was running 4 verticals out of this trips tight end look. It's going to work to find Chris Bell. I mean, these teams don't know how to stop it. And then our defense stopped them after they got down inside the red zone, which is perfect timing. We're also able to run for like 20. This is where we take control of this game. It's what we have needed the entire time. But Lamar should not be missing any passes. That's why you see me running it so much. I'm not a fan of the audibles out of this playbook either. I think it's going to be time to make a switch. But first, we have to keep the undefeated season alive. That is much easier said than done, especially whenever they are instantly getting off of the line. I mean, we're so fortunate to have Lamar Jackson that's able to get around. But right there, we got instant pressure. I'm expecting the same thing down here inside the 5, which is why I wanted to throw the RPO. And after scoring that touchdown, I think we're going to be okay, but we're still going to let Chris Bell make some plays for us. If it was not for him, this Louisville team would not be fun to throw the ball with. But thankfully, we are going to survive against Virginia Tech. They did all that they could to stop us, but it's not going to matter in the end. And I feel like we didn't get as many total yards as I would have liked. Not only did we miss a lot of passes with Lamar Jackson, but I also took a lot of sacks, which limited our rushing numbers. And the new playbook I've decided to try out is Kennesaw State. I'm hoping for a lot of quarterback runs, which we're going to need to beat SMU since they just took down Clemson. And I know it's really good for me to only have 1 interception 5 games into a video, but that hurts me so much because our stats were so good outside of that up until that play. There's still a lot of season left, but I'm not sure how we're going to get to 6,000 total yards. And even winning the ACC championship is going to be a lot more difficult than it was supposed to be. We're going to enjoy trying out this new playbook though, seeing if Lamar Jackson can break off some big runs, just juke past that one player and don't let anybody catch you. That is what we needed to start this game. He's hitting the gritty on all these college kids. Buddy, you're like 28 now. And he came back to dominate, that's for sure. All of these speed options are great. I'll have to see if I'm as big of a fan of the passing plays though. We're going down. And I thought we'd be able to run for our life a whole lot easier with Lamar Jackson than we have. Now, it might have looked like he dropped that ball out of bounds at the very last second, but that is not the case. We were able to get the catch out of it and another here. So we have an opportunity to open up this game versus SMU 17-0. And you best believe that we're going to run this one in with Lamar Jackson no matter matter how many players they get over to us, except Isaac Brown had the easy lane. There's definitely a lot more points being scored in this game though, which I really like. I saw that we had that mismatch over there on Bobby Golden, and I will take that look again if we have it, though they were able to get to us fast enough. SMU should not be able to still be in this matchup, but they are as we approach halftime, which I don't like. And I might need to start taking some more underneath throws because going deep isn't going well. I'll give it one more try on 3rd and 18. We don't really have anything to lose, but they stopped us there. They've continued to stop us in this second half until we have an open Bobby Gold. That touchdown does not make me happy though. We're currently trailing 35-30. And this is the only game that we'll be using this Kennesaw State playbook because it doesn't allow us to make big rushing plays. I want the stats to come with Lamar Jackson, and they simply just haven't, but they keep on having this terrible alignment on Bobby Golden, which is why we're even in it. Literally, if they put another cornerback on him, none of this would be possible. The 2-point conversion, another failure. And if we're going to beat the Mustangs, our defense has got to hold them on this 3rd and goal, but they had somebody open. I really need to know where Holloway thought he was going. He was about to run out of bounds, and then he just covered him 5 feet off the ball. That's going to put us behind by 9 points, and if we can't scramble to pick up this first down, it's going to be a hard 4th. I have the tight end on a drag route so we can throw it to him. It's off target into an interception, though. Lamar is selling for us. By the time we have the ball back, we had to use one of our timeouts. We are in a very, very bad spot. But if we can somehow score a touchdown almost instantly, this game is not over. There is no way that we got hit into that pick. You know, I definitely had my own mistakes throughout that game, but we also gave up 45 points to SMU. And this is going to make Preston Stone a Heisman favorite over Lamar Jackson. If you thought it was going to be a cakewalk for us to complete every challenge in this video, you're going to be very wrong. And dropping down to number 10 in the country, plus not being tied for first place in the ACC standings is tough. After we play at Pittsburgh, we also have to deal with Miami and Clemson, which are not going to be easy games. Rivals Kentucky still on the schedule. And the only time that we've done well in the Heisman Trophy watch is after we lost a game. The logic with that makes no sense, but we're about to play Pittsburgh, who started the year 1-6. And even if they're struggling, I could see us losing this game. That's why it's so crucial we open it up the right way. We have the ball inside the red zone, easy throws. And then the Panthers responded back within literal seconds. On 3rd and 16, I'm really hoping for man-to-man coverage here. Normally that allows us to beat them deep, but we simply aren't fast enough. So maybe we should be running the ball a little bit more, except we're losing yards there too. I feel like our team's hit a rut that nothing's gonna work for us. I mean, they know exactly where we want to go. And I'm hoping for zone coverage, which we can still dot up on 3rd down if we have the time to do so, and Lamar can also run for it, finally. I'm just trying to see what we can do to beat them deep, but what is this? They sent 5 guys at us. We had 2 guys not blocking anybody, letting a free rusher get in. So that's the reason we have been struggling. Our offensive line, I just saw our left tackle get destroyed, and they are also covering us well. This is exactly why I was worried about Pittsburgh. I mean, we're having to do everything on the ground with Lamar to have success. And anytime I've tried to go through the air, it hasn't worked for us so far, but I was hoping we'd have our receiver. 3rd and 10 now. My plan is to instantly roll out to the right, except they have somebody sent in over from that side. Chris Bell gets us to the 5. And this is where Lamar Jackson's going to have to make a play to get us into the end zone. We're fighting extremely hard against the Panthers. And I don't think they're going anywhere. As we approach the end of the first half, we're still only up by 4. This rusher is definitely about to make a play. But we're out here looking for the deep ball, which I'm going to send up. If Chris Bell can come down with this, that would be a miracle. None of that worked throughout the first half, though. So it's going to taking some drag routes, hoping that we can get loose. And I want Lamar to break off a huge quarterback run so badly. I didn't realize how good we had it at the beginning of the year whenever we were playing against all those weaker schools. But now everything is so much more difficult. We can't make any throws on target, and I've just sent this one up. I've gotten sick of not making plays. Bobby Golden was just fast enough to outrun those kids. But Pittsburgh's not going anywhere. They keep on scoring. It is so sad how little the run works for us now as well. This is going to be cover 2 though, and what is Lamar doing? After that, the Panthers would tie it up, which puts the pressure on us in the 4th quarter to close out another game for Louisville. And we'll see if we're able to do that or not. I know that our stats in this matchup are terrible. We only have like 150 total yards until this bomb. Getting the ball back, I was hoping that we could run out the rest of the clock, but we can't. But maybe this next drive will be a little bit different. Our defense got it it back for us again. We are able to find Bobby Golden. And passing is working so much better than running. They just know that we want to keep it with Lamar. We messed up as well because we have to get off one more snap before the 2-minute warning, and we're going down. That makes it 3rd and 10. They are pressing. They have run commit, and that means Chris Bell can snag the ball, but he also got stopped. It was the easiest touchdown in the world, but some of the guys on this team just don't seem to be on the same page. And to be honest, that's my fault right there for being greedy and not pitching it, but again, they ran commit on 3rd down. If they just played it smart, we probably wouldn't have moved the ball. But instead, we're going to win this one by 14, and I'm trying my best to end with a really big running play that they're all over. If teams can see what Pittsburgh did against us and they watch a lot of film, it's going to be hard to move the ball moving forward. And you would think this is a great stat line, but it's not. We didn't even complete 50% of our passes, and on the rushing side of things, we took so many sacks or just got like no yards per carry. But I'm hoping that spending some of Jeff Brom's upgrade points on making our offensive line better will make it so they block a little bit better too. Right now, we're in like a 6-way tie for 2nd place in the ACC, but we're playing Miami, who is sitting in 1st. And this game's also on the road, which makes it just as big as the one against SMU was. I know that if we're going to take down the Hurricanes, we're going to have to play flawlessly. And that includes our blocking on some of these run plays. They just keep on getting those free rushers in, but we were still able to avoid it. That's exactly what I like to see. Man-to-man coverage as well, which means if this throw is on target, we could have run with it. That's just something that Lamar Jackson hasn't seemed to be very good at, but he can roll out and also put it on the money. It's so weird that standing in the pocket, he does not struggle to make some of the throws, and other ones he'll just completely miss. But that play went in our favor, so we've taken an early lead against the Hurricanes. We'd also throw for another touchdown after that, putting us up 14-0. But as you can tell, most of our option runs still aren't working out too well for us, and come on, it's out of reach every time. I don't know what the deal is with those crossing routes, but he just can't seem to hit them. I didn't have anybody I wanted to take. And it's truly a miracle some of the positions our defense has put us in. With some good blocks, we would have had a touchdown. But either way, we were picking up the 1st down, and I wanted to cut it back to see if that helped. This quarterback zone play call is all about the vision that we have with Lamar. Though if we're going to hold, it doesn't really matter. Miami's made it 2nd and 13 for us, which isn't the end of the world. I would have much rather this than 3rd and 7, because it's made it very manageable to pick up this 3rd and 2, which we are going to hang on to and also break the tackle. Right now, we find ourselves in a really good spot against them. And at least we have some positive rushing yards, which I couldn't say last game. To get Lamar Jackson another touchdown, though, we probably need to go with the QB sneak. And we'll see if they're able to respond back after that. It turns out that they did, so we're only up by 14 now, but I'm hoping Bobby Golden can get us in. And some of these throws just make me upset, which is why I've decided to roll out on 3rd down, and we're going to find the end zone. What a play from Lamar. He is changing this game for us now that he's actually putting the ball in the right spots. But there's a 50-50 chance he'll just miss his next throw, like right here, which almost got picked. He might be inconsistent, but whenever he is on, he is extremely good. And I think we're another touchdown away from being perfectly fine against Miami, which means we have to finish this drive. After that, I can trust this team to close it out. We're running the counter because we have yet to go with the counter in a long time. And that has set us up to run it in with Lamar again. I wish they would make it easy on us, just block a little bit better. And if that's not going to work, we will have to throw the football, but that's okay. Unfortunately for us, though, Miami didn't give up. So after we put in our backups, they've been able to make it 42-28, and it is so important that we pick up this 3rd down, which we're getting with Hughes, and a lot more. Lamar has come in to save the day. He put this team in a great spot, which we blew. But no matter what happens on this drive, we're going to make it a 3-possession game. I just wanted the touchdown. We have now scored 49 on the Hurricanes, and that's a massive win over a top 10 team on the road that should carry us higher up in the rankings. One of the challenges we also need to complete is winning an ACC championship, and we're a part of that current 6-way tie for 1st place, but we have to hold this spot by not losing another conference game. Clemson might be the most difficult one left, but we still have to play California and Boston College after that, and then Kentucky to end the year. So there's a lot of chances for us to fall out of the top 12, not even make it to the playoffs. And we keep on flip-flopping back and forth with Avery Johnson for being the projected Heisman winner. The Tigers seem to have the highest overall defense that we've had to face yet, though. So that could be a problem, or we could drop another 7 touchdowns like we just did against Miami. I'm hoping that it's the latter. We'll see, though, as they're getting great pressure. And I really don't want to force this on 3rd and 19, which means we're probably going to run and set ourselves up to just kick a field goal. Even though Clemson would score a touchdown on their first drive, I think that was the right decision. But I can only do these design quarterback runs for so much longer. They just haven't worked out for us. We're going to have to come back and catch this ball with Isaac Brown. And that's kept this drive alive for a bit longer, but we still have to finish it off. I'm not going to give up on Lamar Jackson running the ball completely because sometimes he's very explosive. He just has to pass the line of scrimmage for him to run like that. I have seen very few people as fast as him, though, especially especially how quick he was at the beginning of his NFL career. And that's why I wanted to relive his college days so badly. We just needed one more block though, or we can still get a touchdown out of this. I'd say that either way, this is a pretty successful start. Can he hit a 30-yard corner route though? And the answer to that question is no, as we are also gonna get the ball poked out of our hand, picked off, and returned back for a pick six. That's ridiculous. We should not be losing to Clemson, but we are. And I also know that we probably aren't going to hit this pass. But look at that. Lamar's proven me wrong, and I know we're going to take a sack. Yeah, terrible blocking. If EA can't program blocking good enough on plays like that, they should just take all of them out of the game. But we're still delivering some dots to take our lead back. Aside from that one pick six, I would consider this an extremely successful first half. I didn't want to slide, and that was probably a big mistake because Lamar's wear and tear is just getting destroyed, but that doesn't hurt his arm. Bobby Golden is the go-to target. Man-to-man coverage, I'm going to do this same thing 2 times in a row. They're going to have to learn. Talk about a high-scoring game, though. Clemson has not gone away, which means we needed to start this second half right, and we had a touchdown, except we got hit. They're getting another pick six against us unless one of these players can catch him. It's just that all I needed there was 2 seconds, but that dude beat a double team. Our running back wasn't able to pick him up either. And it's making it so much harder to take down the Tigers, especially with wear and tear damage like this. We know that we're not going to be able to run it with negative 19 speed, so we're throwing and it's behind him, which was apparently never caught. So Clemson would score again, but we have finally been given a chance to go deep to Bobby Golden. I told you what we're going to look for. I mean, we've literally taken that 3 or 4 times in this game, and it is going to be a battle all the way up until the end, but that's going to put us back in front. We have also gotten the ball back because of our defense pulling it with the read option. We're not fast enough right now, and I'm assuming this damage is going to get worse over time, but we have got to pick this up. That's on me though. I threw it straight to them on 3rd and 6. Clemson will move the chains, and the farther they get down the field, the worse it's looking for us. But if they don't pick this up, they would have kicked 3. If we could just force them to do that, that would make this game so much easier to win. They're going to be a yard short. Great tackle from behind, and this is what I love to see. They have tied the game up at 38. Winning now is far more manageable than it would have been if they got a touchdown out of that. And there will be no scrambling Lamar Jackson plays on this drive, only passes. He just sold us on 2nd down though. We're going to go back to Isaac Brown on 3rd, and we still have a long way to go down the field, but I trusted that Golden could find that space. Transfer receiver Bobby Golden now has over 200 receiving yards in this game. He has definitely been our best receiver so far, and Lamar is out of juice. We're just going to let Isaac Brown run instead. We've also chewed down the clock a little bit. I'm liking the alignment that I'm seeing, but it's off target. And how many times is Lamar going to do this to us? We cannot be missing the simplest passes in the world. Thank goodness we have made up for it. Clemson only has 2 timeouts after their last one as well, so we are guaranteed to kick a field goal for the win, with the only thing that could mess this up being a block kick, but that does not happen. I told you all that this one was going to be a battle, but we were able to close it out, and we might have had over 500 total yards with Lamar. 409 of it came through the air. On the rushing side of things, he had 99 yards, just 1 yard short of 100. And you would think that all those turnovers would hurt his case for winning the Heisman, but it didn't seem to affect it. We've moved up to number 3 in the country, and since Ohio State and Michigan play to end the year, we're guaranteed to be a top 2 team if we just win out. But outside of playing California, there's still one tough conference game on our schedule because I know we face Boston College in a couple weeks. This is college football though. Even Cal could be an issue, so we can't overlook them. Though I do really like that our final 3 games of the year are all at home. My hope is against the Golden Bears, we can run the ball a little bit better. We have not done that well recently, and look at Lamar already going for a touchdown. He makes it look so effortless if there's just one person trying to stop him. So we need to get him in the open field more often like that. I can't believe how open they have left Bobby Golden though. I feel like they're making our lives so much easier. We've been able to work it down the field again. And on 2nd and goal, I'm going to look for one of our hitches to get open, but if they don't, we'll try to fight our way in. This is touchdown territory with a run on the ground. There was so much open space. But Cal is not done yet. They have responded back, so we're going to go for a deep shot over on Chris Bell's side of the field. We haven't done that in a while. And we do have the most success out of this formation for sure. We're able to roll out and also motion for a blocker. Lamar cuts it back. And we've had no issues with fumbling so far. Right here, they had a guy out there to stop us. If we just make him miss, we're going to score another touchdown, but maybe the halfback screen to Isaac Brown can also work. We know that he is pretty fast. And the longer that this game goes on for, the better it is looking for us, but I'm not going going to be happy until we score one more touchdown. Funny enough, Lamar Jackson has taken a lot of hits in this game, but the wear and tear damage is all to his throwing stats, which means we can just keep it on the ground and get another tutty. By now, I'd consider this one a very lost cause for them, but if they're going to give us looks like this, we have to go for more touchdowns. This is how you win the Heisman Trophy. You break records. And I think we're prepared to play Boston College next week if they're even still ranked. Lamar showed out in this performance, having 7 touchdowns. And sure enough, the Eagles dropped a game, so going into this final week of conference play, we are pretty much a lock for the ACC championship unless we lose. Since we continue to score 7 touchdowns a game as well, it would be stupid to give the Heisman Trophy to anybody else. And there's only 2 challenges that still seem like they're going to be difficult, the total yards one and also winning a natty. At the moment, we have just gotten over 4,000 total yards throughout this entire season, and we still need another 2,000, but we should be able to do that in 6 games. That's like 330 a game. I feel like that's manageable. But to have a chance at that, we have to make a run all the way to the championship, and I don't know why teams leave him open. Without that transfer receiver helping us out, I think this season would have gone a lot differently. But by midway through the second quarter, things haven't gone how I thought they would. We had an interception, which means they have been able to keep it close. And we have still only scored 7 points, but throwing this on the run over to Isaac Brown with a perfect block, he might just be gone to the crib. And we will see if we're able to crack the end zone here. I mean, I can tell that kid is way too slow to catch Lamar Jackson. He is really fun to run with still. Blocks are lining up perfectly here. One guy to make miss. We can do that quickly. But in that situation, a juke move might have been better. It would have been a lot quicker, so we could have kept running towards the end zone. It just doesn't work as much of the time. We're going to see if anything can get open now. And I'm not sure what I could have taken, but we're going to have Chris Bell over the middle of the field, which gets us to the 4. On 2nd and goal, I'm probably going to roll out to the right and just scramble, but they've been all over that, which puts pressure on us right here. Man-to-man coverage, step up, quarterback spy, they're ready. I am confident in our abilities to beat Boston College, though, so we can be aggressive to end this first half. See if Isaac Brown has what it takes to get into the end zone. And he didn't, but it's really not the end of the world. Starting this second half, we're going to get the 3rd and 6. We're driving down the field. And if I don't take this play action, I'm assuming their pass rush is going to get in pretty quick, but that should have been a touchdown. For having a quarterback of this magnitude, I feel like we have missed way too many throws. That one was put where it needed to be, but we just couldn't reel it in, so we're going to watch as we kick a field goal. That's how we should have ended the second quarter. I do like the look that we're going to get right here if this ball can even be gotten to, and I feel like this is worth throwing the challenge flag over. His foot was so close to being in bounds completely, but he might have touched the sideline, and the refs didn't change their decision. We had to punt the ball after that, which puts us in a bad spot because Boston College got on the board again. That's right, with about 7 minutes left on the clock, it is all tied up at 17. But I'm gonna trust that Chris Bell can beat the press over there. He pushed off and he still didn't get any separation. It is what it is though. We will be aggressive on 4th and inches. They knew the run was gonna have to come with Lamar. And recently they've done a pretty good job of stopping it. Though right here, he's still standing and get out of his way. These are the takeover moments that we need to see out of him. Blocks are perfect, literally just one guy to beat. He spun the wrong direction, and there's no reason to fix it if it isn't broke yet. Pick up your block and allow us to get 5 more. We have not thrown the ball for a while now, but once it's 3rd and 5, things become a little bit more high pressure. But they've gotten us to a 4th and 1, so we'll see if our drag routes can get open. I figured they probably would. Now it's on our defense, though, to make sure they don't score again. And you got to think, this is a spot in the ACC championship on the line. The play action shouldn't be fooling them. Thomas Castellanos, they forced him out. They didn't even give him the ball on 4th down. But it doesn't really matter. He went on to get them a touchdown, and now we are in control. Not for long, though. If we aren't able to pick up this 3rd and 8, I saw our faster receiver getting pressed, and I was willing to throw that one to Bobby Golden. That's cover 2, so we're going right back to the sideline. Maybe we should be keeping it on the ground, though. Lamar has struggled to throw it recently, and I couldn't even tell you if this is field goal range for us, so we're going to step up and lose more. Welcome to overtime, which it should not have come to, but it has. The cut to the left side gets us 14, and I just won an easy touchdown against them. What is this? I can completely understand why people get frustrated with this part of the game. Didn't even try to block it. And that could very well be the reason that we end up losing, but I'm still going to trust us to make some plays. It's a little bit different now that it's 3rd and 18 though. Man-to-man coverage, which means the fade route might be our best chance. And if Lamar could have been a bit more accurate throughout the day, all of this would have been avoided. The game could end right here though. Boston College is on a 4th and 6. We're going to swat it down. And it is a guarantee that we will make it to the ACC championship no matter matter what. There's also no way that we didn't have over 400 total yards. Or maybe there is because some of the sacks we took. At one point in that game, we had like 160 rushing yards. Either way, it's all working out for us. We're still projected to finish inside the top 2. And this is the moment that stinks because I'm going to have to win this rivalry against my favorite team. I'm still repping Kentucky. I will always bleed blue, but we need Lamar Jackson to go off. And on our first 3rd and 5, my plan was honestly to just take off and see how many rushing yards we could get. I also have a feeling that we're going to be able to throw this one up to Bobby Golden without looking anywhere else on the field. So that's what I have done, though they're sticking with him pretty well. It just didn't matter too much. We passed for another touchdown, and we might as well go for our 3rd to Bobby Golden as he just ran by the man coverage. But this doesn't feel right. We aren't just beating Kentucky, we're destroying them. They've been terrible at stopping the pass, but they've really keyed in on stopping the run. And I might as well go for it on 4th and 12. This game's probably going to end in a blowout either way, so we could pat on some touchdowns. To my surprise, though, we played a terrible 3rd quarter. Kentucky scored 20 points straight. And that's how we find ourselves only up by 8 points, 1 possession with 8 minutes left on the clock. Though if that block held for a little bit longer, I guess it doesn't matter. We still got around him. I was just hoping for a touchdown. With the counter, they're going to tackle us. It's starting to seem like we will get held to a field goal, but we'd still be up by 2 possessions. Yeah, even that didn't go our way. We apparently shanked the kick, so now they have it on a 3rd and 17 that they're going to come close to converting. We're on the verge of blowing a 28-0 lead. Cutter Bully couldn't fake them out. And it might be in our best interest to not throw another pass in this game, but just continue to run it. Maybe not, though. Lamar looked extremely slow there, so we've mixed in the halfback screen to Isaac Brown. He's going to make 2 kids miss. And I'm literally just going to throw this one up on 3rd and 4 because I like the alignment look that we were getting, though they were all over it. With a minute left, this is an extremely important 4th and 1. They have nothing to go to. But we have not beaten Kentucky yet. They still have all 3 of their timeouts, which gives them a chance. Now, if I had to guess, they're going to run commit here because we've made it 2nd and 2. So that's why I've come out trying to throw the ball versus them, though it might result in an interception. Maybe I'm trying to keep my favorite team in this game. I want them to have a chance. In reality, that's just an excuse. I'm being extremely dumb. And they have moved it down the field once again. I shouldn't be acting like the Heisman Trophy is already a lock because it might not be. They have almost tied it up. And if they get this 2-point conversion, we're going to overtime again. However I've handled this second half is a perfect guide on what not to do. And I'm going to do my best to try and get us in field goal range with Lamar here. But we had like no success. With one final heave to the end zone, we'll see if their coverage is stupid enough to actually let Bobby Golden just run deep, except it was a missed pass. That could have been the win. It doesn't even feel like it should be possible to lose after going up 28-0, but that's the spot that we're in. And I might throw an interception here, trying to thread it up the seam, but I felt like we could get a first. We've been in this position before. Surely we can handle it. Man-to-man coverage, we can come to the ball. And it all just comes back to how accurate Lamar really is. We're going to see if Isaac Brown is able to get into the end zone, but he's not. I'm more comfortable putting this in the hands of Lamar Jackson, who does. We also got extremely lucky if you take a look at recent plays, because even though Kentucky would score a touchdown on their first overtime drive, we got an interception on their second one, so we're just settling for a field goal, or we could go for the touchdown somehow. That's a walk-off touchdown. We're going to beat our rivals at the end of the day. But I wish they could have been sent home with the Governor's Cup. Lamar also had 2 interceptions, which could affect the Heisman odds. I wish I considered it. And if it wasn't for TJ Capers grabbing that interception, we wouldn't have won this. And the ACC championship is going to be us versus Miami part 2. The last time we played them, we dropped 49 points on their head, and Florida State or NC State would have been just as tough. But my real concern was where we were standing in the Heisman Trophy race, and we're still at number 1. Going into this game, we're looking to knock off our 3rd challenge on our list. And even if we somehow manage to mess this up, at least we're still in the playoffs. We'll see how they handle Lamar Jackson now that this is the 2nd time they've had to face him. And I don't particularly love how fast we gave up 7 points to them, but it's all about what we do offensively, which is starting off with a massive run that he's still going on. The spin move is lethal as well. It doesn't feel as good as Judkins did whenever we first had this game on release, but it's pretty overpowered. If I don't see a running lane, I should probably use it a little bit more, but when there's space, I'm taking the touchdown. After getting the ball back, I might have a chance to do that again by just running in, though it's too far away for me to feel comfortable with the QB sneak, so this is what we went with. We've still not pulled away from the Hurricanes, though. That's going to be pretty challenging to do, and thank goodness there was a flag on that play. It's against the Hurricanes. It is going to keep this drive alive, at least for a little bit longer. on 3rd and super long. I should have avoided this, but I couldn't. The Hurricanes would score again, and we are looking down the middle of the field, which we're catching. Whenever you have your tight end in isolation like that, you can normally trust him, but I don't know what else Lamar could have done right there. Stepping up, I wanted to have somebody to throw to. Running also goes our way though, and I have a plan for this play. We're going to immediately roll out to the right side of the field and just throw it up, though we catch that ball still. That should not have worked out. It was not even intended for Chris Bell. I was so confused. I hit the wrong button. That was the issue. And we need to take a timeout to regroup. There is no reason that we should settle for a field goal, though if it happens, we'll deal with it. I just have to trust that we would actually hit it from this distance. 3 straight sacks for a 20-yard loss is so frustrating, but at least we're going to tie things up. And we are opening up the second half, dealing with the same problems we had in the first. They're getting some great heat in, which is why I've decided to run it on 3rd and 5. And that means they've been able to put us on 2 field goals in a row. At some point, though, the pass has to open up. I figured that we could outrun them here because normally we do with Golden. They just were prepared for our go-to play, and rolling out to our tight end might not go the best, but we're going to try to come to the ball first. Honestly, the longer this game goes on for, the more that I'm realizing we deserve to lose it. They're going to get it back down by 3. But shout out to our defense for getting it back to us once again. We're also going to have Bobby Golden deep. He's able to run straight under it. Whenever they have like a quarters coverage, they just can't seem to handle the speedster. We were bound to have some rough moments, and we did in this game, but near the end, we are starting to close it out right. And that Heisman Trophy should be going to Lamar Jackson. I can't believe the effort that just went in to stop him from getting the touchdown, but we get it here. So it seems like everything's going to work out the way it was supposed to. Miami was able to score 1 more touchdown, but they didn't get the onside kick after that. And this trophy right here means we've completed our 3rd challenge of the video. Whenever it comes to breaking Joe Burrow's total yards record, though, I'm not sure if this was enough. And it's not because Lamar didn't throw for a lot of yards. It's his rushing stats. He took a ton of sacks, but he still had 64 yards. Just to count it up, though, he took 9 sacks in this game, so that's probably like 100 yards that's missing. And it is time for the moment of truth. I didn't realize we threw 9 interceptions with him. Player of the Year award, that doesn't mean much. I want to see the Heisman Trophy, and there it is. Now there's only 2 things that we have left to do. One of them's winning that national championship. And with 26 rushing touchdowns on the ground, over 1,300 yards, I think Lamar Jackson also deserved to win the best running back award. Out of curiosity, we took 46 sacks this season. I'm still not happy that I threw 9 interceptions because we didn't have many to start the year. From a receiving perspective, Bobby Golden, #1 guy for sure. And we ended up getting the 1 seed instead of the 2 seed. Michigan must have beat Ohio State in the conference championship. I thought we were going to have to play Oregon and be the team that ruins their dreams of winning their first natty. But DJ Lagway and the Gators beat them by 1 point, so that's who we've drawn. And I also took note that Tulane somehow beat Ohio State, but look at this. We average 40 points per game to their 28. We should be able to run up the score in this one, though I don't know if DJ Lagway can do the same. And what even is this matchup? These are 2 of my least favorite teams in college football. We might be held to a 3-and-out as well. We'll see if they're able to stick with our fade route or not. I know that that's not one of our faster receivers, but Hughes is pulling away at the last second. And what a start to this game that was. We're also keeping it with the option. Surely number 13 could have been smarter than to let Lamar just go all the way. You always have to prepare for him to pull that ball. And they must have not done good enough research on us. I'm trying to avoid taking a sack right here, which we have done, and come on, do not catch us. This is playoff football at its finest. It's going to be a blowout in the first round, hopefully, just like it was in real life. I don't know what type of play I'm trying to make happen, but it doesn't matter how perfect your quarterback is. That is something you simply cannot pull off on Heisman, though right there we can drop it straight into Bobby Golden's hands. Everything is going almost perfectly, though we didn't get any separation. That ball popped up. And you know what that means. We're going on the ground. Lamar cuts it up and is short. Well, we need 2 more here. I think we're going to have it. But DJ Lagway is not done. He has gotten them within 4. I almost threw an interception, and I wouldn't even consider that my fault. The plan for that play would have worked if we had more time. We're very fortunate to get down to this part of the field to start the 3rd quarter, especially since we're able to get in, but we just haven't been able to pull away. That is why this next drive is a great chance to do that if we're able to capitalize. And I have no problem with going for this on 4th and inches. Our blocks are going to hold, and we're going to get a bit more. I really like these RPO bubble plays, especially whenever the defense does not bite on them. They let you get like 10 yards out of it. And since we're at the point in this season where we no longer need to pad our stats, I'm fine with running the speed option and trying to get those stats to Isaac Brown. He did not finish the job off for us though. On 3rd down, they ran our slant for us. And I want that 3-possession lead. I have no problems being aggressive in this situation, especially since Lamar is faster than all these kids. With 5 minutes left, Florida has been able to get it back within a possession as well, which makes this a huge 3rd and 2. And as of recently, there really haven't been any easy wins for us. It's a bit disappointing. I just want to blow some teams out, though it's not going to happen now that we're at this point in the season. And this is a very important 3rd and 14. I'm hoping that our crossing route can come back to it. It went out of his hands. And we cannot be doing this again, where we have to watch our defense hoping that they knock it loose. Lamar Jackson is holding his breath on the sidelines. 1 stop, 4th and 10. We're swatting it. We're in their face. And what do you do when you have a dude that big in your face? You kind of just freeze up. You're lost. That's why whenever a defensive tackle gets through, I don't stay in the pocket, because I know we're probably not throwing it over him. And believe it or not, that is the 1st down that is going to seal this matchup. I shouldn't be going for more. We can take 2 quarterback kneels and just run out the rest of the clock. And there's only 2 more games between us and winning a national championship with Louisville. I'm a little bit concerned about the total yards record though, and that's because I needed to average over 330 yards in these final games, but we're falling short in some of them. Next up, we're going to get to face Tulane. They won the Battle of Louisiana. And should I be concerned, this is who we have to deal with since they blew out Ohio State and just took down LSU. They also averaged 37 points per game this season, but it's important to keep in mind that comes in a weaker conference. But there's no reason to question what will happen for much longer. We can just hop into the game. And we have done almost nothing throughout this entire 1st quarter, but maybe we can pick up this 3rd and 10 that slips out. Either way, we were going to get a field goal after that. It just shouldn't take our offense this long to get things going. And this feels like a great time to break off a huge run with Lamar Jackson. If the blocks held right there, we could have gotten around this kid. And we probably would have gone all the way. Instead, we're just going to be slinging it towards the sidelines. It's caught. Just not before they marked him out of bounds, which means we're on 3rd down, and that's enough. I'm starting to understand how this Tulane defense has been able to take down some of the top teams in the country, because I have felt like I am seeing ghost on some of these plays, except right here. We're gonna have Hughes and he's gone. That was the moment that the floodgates opened, because we got another touchdown after that, though they also got on the board. And that's why how we open up this 3rd quarter is so important. I feel like I've done a very good job in this video making sure we run with Lamar, but we have 9 carries for 11 yards. There's no reason to force it if it's not there. We can throw the ball instead. Down this close to the goal line though, I would like if we could just throw it to our running back, except we're having 0 luck at all. We're going to go with an RPO. That should have been a fumble. And getting held to a field goal there would have been a very big issue if they went down the field and got more than a field goal themselves. They didn't though. We're breaking a tackle, and I am just hoping for cover 2 because Bobby Golden could have split their coverage, but it wasn't there, which means we're running and pick that guy up. We have not had the total yards that we have needed in this game to break the Joe Burrow record. I just threw it straight to them thinking we could get around cover 2. And I think performing like this would have been a major problem if we were facing anybody else. But because it's Tulane, especially when they're running some coverage like that, we can abuse it. They might be keeping it within 10, but we know exactly what's going to work against them. We're going to have another massive passing play. Great little move from Bobby Golden. And if we want to put away the green wave, it's all going to come right here on this drive. A touchdown would do it. A field goal would not. We are going to put that ball on the money to Hughes. And then our defense got the stop that we have been waiting on, but we never broke off that big run. We should be resting for the national championship, but instead I'm trying to pad my stats against Tulane. And if we have enough time back there in the pocket like that again, we're going to have no issues doing that. We can also run all the way down to the 1. This formation has been absolute money for us, especially with the direct quarterback runs. And that's all I was trying to do to finish this game. We're going to win 41-17. But more importantly, we had about 350 total yards. And our final opponent's going to be the Georgia Bulldogs. This is number 4 in the country versus number 1. We're the only team that hasn't lost 2 games or more. And to get to this point, the Bulldogs had to beat Michigan, Kansas State, and Notre Dame. With all eyes on Lamar Jackson, he is going to try to achieve what he couldn't during his first college career. And if you've enjoyed this concept with former players, let me know what other guys you want to see in the future. I know that I've done it with RG3, Johnny Manziel, back on NCAA Football 14, but this is my first on College Football 25, and my favorite one is we're opening up the right way. We only gave up a field goal as well, which means if we can drive down the field successfully, we're going to be up 14-3. Though on that play alone, you could see the speed of the Georgia Bulldogs. They're going to keep up with Lamar. I think the options actually work out better than the design quarterback runs. It just gives you more choices. And I'm extremely thankful that Georgia did absolutely nothing on their next possession. We have it at the 30. To break Joe Burrow's record of the most total yards in a season, I think we only need about 200 yards in this game. But we've already passed for like 150, so we're going to hit that. Whenever Joe Burrow achieved that though, he did not have the 12 team playoff, which makes his more impressive. And we're just losing yards on stuff like that. Our left tackle goes down. Even though we went up 14-3 early, that does not guarantee we're going to take down the Bulldogs, especially since they have it back within a possession. That's how you pick up a 3rd and 22. And I'm enjoying the fact that they have not been able to stop us yet, but at some point they're probably going to be able to. And I could try to explain what I was seeing there, but I don't think there's a point. You're already typing terrible in the comments anyway, which is valid. Instant replay is also screwed up. It's glitching all around, but you're going to see. He stopped his route. I thought he was going to run to the sideline, which would have been the greatest crossing route of all time, but it's okay. Our defense got us the ball back in an incredible position, and I don't know how Lamar is still out there on the field after getting railed like he did on that last play. Georgia's trying to take him out of the game, and I honestly can't really blame him. If we win, he's going to be the reason. We'll see what happens on this 4th down. I didn't necessarily want to go for it, but I like not being a wimp. We didn't need those 3 points, and now we can split the safeties with our slow tight end running to the 4. We had a terrible interception on our side of the field in this half, and we are still most likely going to be up 28-6, which just shows how good we are. This final play cannot be more than 6 seconds, though. I took a little bit too much time off the clock, and I've got to know if some of these sacks are my fault or they're just getting in that fast. Either way, I can't really say it's a bad thing for Heisman mode because it's made this video a lot more fun, and the gameplay a lot more competitive on the hardest difficulty. If it wasn't like that, it'd be so easy to just blow out every team. Now, I wish the computer could get the other team to create crazy amounts of pressure without cheating, but that's how they have it set up. And I think that's going to be the final touchdown we score. By the time Georgia finally got one of their own, I mean, this thing has been over. And that means that Lamar Jackson is going to win a national championship with Louisville. I'd say that trophy was worth coming back to college for, but there was one final challenge: break Joe Burrow's total yards record. Pre being a college dropout, math was one of my 2 majors, so I can confidently tell you that 4,700 passing yards plus 1,500 rushing yards is more than 6,040 yards total. So that means I've been able to complete every single challenge in this video with Lamar Jackson. And listen, it's the off season. We got like another 200 days before college football comes back, so if there's any college basketball videos you want to see, more college football 25 videos, anything you all want, let me know down below.